Right on. Thank you for joining me for another range of motion workout here. What we're going to do today is we're going to stretch our hips out, we're going to stretch our shoulders out, we're going to stretch a lot of the back of our legs out. Focusing on the hips, as when we get into the facility here and we're throwing a lot of weight around, we need to make sure that we've got good range of motion and that we're loose within our hip. As every time we throw the weight up, a lot of power, a lot of momentum comes from our trunk, from our hip area, that having low amounts of range of motion can really hold back the amount of power that we have, the amount of weight that we can throw up into some of those Olympic lifts, in particular the cleans and getting into the snatch. Today, what we're going to start, we're going to bring our left leg forward. Okay, knee right over top of ankle. We're going to push our right leg back as long as possible. Okay, there we go. Lean a little bit onto our left leg while we get our balance. All right, once we're set it into that, we're going to bring our shoulders back up and allow our weight to push down and forward with our hips. I refer to this sometimes as the hammock effect, where when you hang a hammock, your left leg is one tree, your back knee is another tree, and when somebody sits down, that weight pushes down into the hammock. That's the sensation we want to feel here, that we're pushing down, really trying to stretch that out. We're going to stay in this side, in this position, for 2 minutes. We're already halfway there. Thirty seconds. Ten seconds. Now the transition to the next movement, our legs are going to stay in the same position. I'm going to take my left hand and put it inside my left foot with my shoulder tucking in to the spot where my knee is. Okay? I'm going to put a little bit of pressure from my shoulder onto my knee and just really open that hip up just a little further. We're going to do this for 1 minute. Again, all of our weight is in our hips and our pillars, very little on our hands. Thirty seconds. Let those hips fall down and forward. By bringing your shoulders up, you'll naturally dip your hips down. The second my shoulders go down, my hips are going to come up. Make sure you're still staying into that active stretch. 3, 2, 1. We're going to push back. There we go. Switching sides now. Right foot is forward. Left leg is long. Get your balance. Rest your chest on your knee. Shoulders up, hips down, hips forward. Like I said earlier, as we have to create momentum to lift weight up through our hips, having a low amount of range of motion in your hips can really limit the amount of weight that you can throw. Doesn't matter how strong you are if your hips can't travel a good distance to create that momentum. Sometimes you can compensate by being super strong, but in the end, you're going to need both. You're going to need to have some strength, and you're going to need to have a lot of range of motion in those hips to be able to get your maximum weight up into some of those movements that you do. 1 minute. Again, we're going to transition out of this position down into the lizard, just like we did on the left side. Shoulders up, tuck those hips down, push. Let that weight fall into the center of this movement. 10 seconds. Three, two, one. Right hand on the inside of my right foot. Shoulders tucking inside my knee. A little bit of pressure to open up. Again, shoulders come up. Nice and tall. Hips down and forward. Five, four, three, two, one. Then go. Bringing that knee back down. Perfect. We're going to go from tabletop position here. Okay? Hands are directly underneath my armpits. Knees are directly underneath my hips. I'm going to slide my hands forward without moving my hip position. So what I mean is when we go down and we push our armpits down, I don't want you to tuck your butt down to your heel. I want your butt to stay up in the air, right over top of those knees. Hands out. There we go. Nice. Arch back and push those armpits down. You should get into a shake. It's such an active press. You should be pushing those armpits right down into the ground. Keep pressing, okay? Use your core muscles, engage those to create that pressure, and push down. Slide your fingers out a little bit further as you get comfortable. Push down, push down, push down, push down. Any movement where we talk about getting the bar over top of our head and our head through that window, a stretch like this is going to open us up so that we can get our hands to that proper position, that proper finish position with the bar over top of our head and then our head through the window. 30 seconds. Sliding those hands in, coming on up. Okay, the last stretch we're going to do today is called twisted cross. Okay, this is going to help open up our shoulders a little bit. So, I'm going to lie on an angle here, and I'm going to put my right arm extended all the way out on the mat. So it looks like this. Palm is down, right arm all the way extended out. I'm going to take my left foot, lift it, bring it behind my right knee, plant it down on the ground, and bring my left hand behind my back to open up that shoulder, okay? If this is too tight for you, bringing your left hand around will release the intensity and also move around with your foot position there, okay? The thought process here usually is, well, I got to open my hips to make this a harder stretch. What we're actually focusing on is this left shoulder. The opposite shoulder drives the intensity. The more I get that left shoulder back, the more intense it feels on my right shoulder, okay? So find a comfortable position with your left foot, but really focus on where you're driving that left shoulder in order to create that proper intensity for you. Once you get a little bit uncomfortable, stay in that pocket. Don't ease off. All right. "30 seconds left on this side. 3, 2, 1. Right on. Rolling back slowly to center. There we go. Other side now. Left hand extended out. Right foot behind my left knee. Right hand behind my back. Twisted cross is one of those stretches that you can almost do multiple times a day, every day in your life, whether you're at the gym training or not. It's a great way to really open up those shoulders. We spend all of our day gathering items and bringing them to the center of our body. But a lot of the times we forget that we need to stretch outwards, away from our body, away from our center. This is a perfect way. If you're at a desk job, if you're sitting hunched and going at a keyboard, everything is going towards the center of your entire workday. So getting back home and opening those shoulders up, doing some shoulder shrugs is huge in order for your body to still feel kind of balanced at the end of the day.